Our next speaker tonight is a candidate you've heard mentioned briefly already so far, getting ready to run for Congress next year. And it's my pleasure to welcome John Fitzgerald, who's here tonight, and give him a chance to take a couple minutes to introduce himself to our club. John?
Thank you. I've got a loud voice, so I actually don't need a microphone. I want to thank John for allowing me to speak here, and Craig also for allowing me a few minutes to speak. I'm a painting contractor. I actually work with my hands. I paint houses and commercial buildings. In college, I studied politics extensively, and I've always done so since. I'm an astute observer of what's going on in this country. And the reason I'm running is because what I'm holding in my hand right now is the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. And I hope everybody took a copy. They're free if you put them back there, because this is what our forefathers fought for. They fought against tyranny. And we have tyranny right now. And I'm not talking about the Republicans. I'm not talking about the Democrats. I'm talking about both parties. Right now, a lot of things are happening that are dismantling our Bill of Rights. The First Amendment. Anybody that goes to Occupy Wall Street has seen this. In Oakland, it's happened. Across the country, it's happened. Freedom of speech. Freedom to assemble peaceably is not allowed in many of the states right now. The Second Amendment is being eroded. The Fourth and Fifth Amendment is being eroded. We have a law right now in the books, and most people don't realize it. It's not even a law, actually. It was enacted by President Obama, whereby you can actually kill a United States citizen outside the United States if you deem that citizen to be a terrorist with no due process. That is not America that I want to live in. That's not the America that I'm raising my kids in. And I'm going to fight tooth and nail to get into Congress to change that, because nobody, including Mr. Miller, is fighting to support these amendments. Nobody, except for three people. Ron Paul, considered the wacko of the Republican Party. He is not. Dennis Kucinich, I love that man dearly. He fights tooth and nail, a great Democrat fighting for the people. And Bernie Sanders, the independent. Who else fights for us but those three people? Nobody else fights for them. And I'm going to do something when I get to Congress, and I guarantee you right now, I'm getting to Congress. And I'm going to fight till the day I die to get there, to make my children's future better, and your children's future, and our grandchildren's future better. Look at the unemployment rate. They talk about 9%. That's baloney. Robert Reich talks about it. It's 25 to 30% right now. And California is one of the worst states right now, and most people don't speak to that. Somebody's got to tell the truth about what's really going on. We have endless wars. We don't even have hearings about the wars right now. These are illegal wars. And you go back to President Bush going into Iraq. There were no weapons of mass destruction. There was no yellow cake in Niger. But what does Congress do? They get together and they go after Barry Bonds, Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa for steroids. Does that impact all of us in our communities? No. Somebody has got to speak up and represent what this represents. And I'm going to do so. And anybody that knows me, no one here does, except for Johnny, who's met me a couple times, knows that I am passionate, but more than that, I'm compassionate and I'm honest. And somebody's got to bring this back to the table in Congress. And I really appreciate having the voice here to speak. I also want you to know, just last week, and I want to ask how many people know about this, the superhighway. Anybody ever heard about the superhighway, the North American Union and the superhighway? No, check this out. A 12-lane highway was built with our taxpayer money. We talk about the jobs bill. Take a look at this. Google it. I researched, as I said. You take a look at it and make up your own mind. 150,000 Mexican truckers are going to be traveling from Mexico all the way to the States, a 12-lane highway that we paid for, into Canada. Commerce that was actually manufactured in China, shipped to Mexico. 150,000 trucks started last week through America, and the drivers are not American, they're Mexican drivers. No one checks to make sure they have a license. Nobody checks to see, environmentally speaking, what these trucks can do to our highways. and not one job is created for America. And in fact, the toll booths are a company out of Spain. And all the proceeds, this is no joke. I see you looking at me, man. Take a look at it. All the proceeds of all the toll booths go to Spain. But we paid for it.
Where is this?
This is all through the heart of America.
Where?
Through Texas. Take a look at it. All the way up into Canada. All the way up into Canada. Yeah.
All the states above Texas?
All above, yes. 12-lane highway. This is no joke.
Now, but are you saying that it was a highway that was in existence? Or did it get funded just for this transportation, and can anybody else use it?
It's Highway 35, okay? It was a small highway. Now it's a huge highway, 12 lanes, okay? I've been on 35 before. It wasn't 12 lanes. The fact is, the jobs aren't being created in America. You look at SunPower, another issue, SunPower. SunPower just got passed by our Congress. Our government gave them $1.2 billion for solar energy. They were $820 billion in debt.
Billion?
I'm sorry, million with an M, not billion. Thank you very much.
The United States is about.
It's pretty bad. It's bad enough as it is. No, they were actually, you're correct. You're actually correct there. They were $820 million in debt, and we gave them $1.2 billion. Okay? Guess where the panels are going to be built? Mexico. Okay? But it doesn't matter. It's outside the United States. That's why I'm running. How do you talk about a jobs bill when you're taking jobs away from Americans in our communities? And anybody that follows politics knows about a lady who I just greatly admire, Elizabeth Warren, who's running for a Senate seat. She's speaking about this stuff. And she's also speaking about, she did extensive research from 1973 to 2003. She's talking about the average household right now versus 1973. There is a better chance that your children in a two-parent household right now have a chance of seeing your parents file for bankruptcy than a divorce. Well, anybody that knows anything about divorce, it's about 50% right now. That speaks volumes. Think about it. She's also talking about the average family right now in America from 1973 to 2003 is paying 76% more for their mortgage than they did in 73. 52% more for their cars than they did in 19. Now this is because of two people having to drive a car to go to work. Okay? 52% more. Healthcare, 74% more than we paid in 1973. And the fact is, we have a third of what we got in 1973 with healthcare. Unbelievable stuff. Okay? This is what we have to realize. Elizabeth Warren is being demonized by the Democrats and the Republicans for speaking this truth. She's, oh, her numbers are incorrect. Her research is so extensive. I just want you to remember one thing. That's the only reason I'm running, to give our children a better chance and not all these debts put on. The last thing I wanted to say is the wars. We're nation building. The fact is, that's all we're doing is nation building under this supposed war on terror. And I can't get into it tonight, but I will with you individually. Go on my website, JohnFitzgeraldForCongress.com, and you can call my number. I put my number on everything. How many people do that? Where you can actually get a direct line to me. It'll say John Fitzgerald for painting and for Congress. It doesn't say that. But you can get a hold of me. We can talk about all these issues. And I have so much information on my website about so many issues that nobody speaks to that are greatly affecting all of us in our communities. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.